Rain slammed against the windows of the old farmhouse like handfuls of gravel thrown from the darkness. The isolated house sat at the end of a forgotten road in rural Vermont, surrounded by dead oak trees that twisted and groaned in the storm. Lightning flashed across the sky, briefly illuminating the property before plunging it back into darkness. Inside, Ava Reed sat alone in the living room. A warm fire crackled in the fireplace, casting flickering shadows across the walls. She had inherited the farmhouse from her grandmother only 2 weeks earlier. Most of the rooms were still filled with dusty furniture and unopened boxes. The house felt old, too old. As midnight approached, Ava wrapped a blanket around her shoulders and tried to focus on her book. Then her phone rang. The sudden sound nearly made her jump. She glanced at the screen. Unknown number. For a moment, she considered ignoring it. Instead, she answered. "Hello." Silence. The only sound was static. Then a man's whisper drifted through the receiver. "Don't look upstairs." A chill raced down Ava's spine. "What?" The voice sounded nervous. "Whatever you do, don't go into the attic." Ava slowly stood. "Who is this?" The line went dead. She stared at the phone. A prank call. Trying to shake off the uneasy feeling, she locked the front door and checked every window. Nothing seemed unusual. No footprints. No cars. No strangers. Outside, the storm continued raging. Then the phone rang again. The same number. Ava answered immediately. "What do you want?" "I'm trying to help you." The voice sounded urgent now. "Who are you?" "My name doesn't matter." "Then why are you calling me?" "Because something is moving around in your attic." At that exact moment, a heavy impact echoed from above. Ava froze. The sound came directly from the ceiling. This one louder. Then came the unmistakable sound of footsteps. Low, heavy, dragging. They moved from one end of the attic to the other. Ava's hands began trembling. "How do you know about this?" The man hesitated. "Because I've been watching the house." Ava's stomach dropped. "You've been what?" The caller ignored the question. "Listen carefully. Whatever is up there isn't human." Lightning flashed outside. For a split second, the hallway lit up. And Ava saw something. The attic door. It had opened, very slowly, by itself. A narrow crack of darkness stared down at her from the ceiling. Then came a scratching sound. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Like fingernails dragging across wood. Ava backed away. "What is that?" she whispered. The caller didn't answer. The scratching stopped. Then a small voice floated down from the darkness. "Hello, child." Ava blinked. "What?" The child giggled. Cold, unnatural giggle. "Can you hear me?" The caller cursed quietly. "Oh no. What is it?" Ava asked. "I know that voice." The child laughed again. "I've been lonely." The attic ladder suddenly unfolded. One step at a time. Nobody touched it. Each metallic click echoed through the silent house. Ava backed into the living room. Then she saw her. A pale little girl stood at the top of the ladder. She wore an old-fashioned white dress stained with dirt. Her black hair hung over part of her face. Her eyes were completely black. Not dark. Not brown. Black. Like empty holes. The caller spoke softly. "That's Emily. You know her. She died in that house 70 years ago." The little girl smiled. "Do you want to play with me?" Ava nearly dropped the phone. Before she could answer, the doorbell rang. Ding. Then 3 loud knocks followed. Bang, bang, bang. Ava practically ran toward the front door. Standing outside was a police officer. Relief flooded through her. "Thank God." The officer stepped inside. "I received a report about suspicious activity." Ava quickly explained everything. Phone call. The attic. The footsteps. The little girl. The officer listened patiently. Then he looked upstairs. His face immediately turned pale. Emily was still standing there, watching, smiling. The officer took a slow step backward. "That's impossible. You can see her too." Ava asked. Before he could answer, every light in the house went out. Darkness swallowed everything. Eva gasped. The little girl's laughter echoed through the hallway. Then another child laughed. And another. And another. Soon dozens of children were laughing throughout the house. Above. Below. Behind the walls. Inside every room. The sound surrounded them. The officer pulled out a flashlight. The beam cut through the darkness. What it revealed made Ava's blood run cold. Tiny muddy footprints covered the walls, the ceiling, the furniture. Hundreds of them. Not one ghost child. Many. The caller suddenly screamed through the phone. "Get out of the house." Ava rushed to the front door. It wouldn't open. She pulled harder. Nothing. The windows wouldn't budge either. It was as if something was holding them shut. The children's laughter grew louder. Then a music box began playing upstairs. A slow, eerie melody drifted through the darkness. The officer pointed his flashlight toward the attic and froze. A tall shadow stood behind Emily, at least 8 feet tall. Its head nearly touched the ceiling. Its arms hung unnaturally low. Long fingers dragged across the floorboards. The little girl smiled. "He's awake." The shadow moved. One step. The house trembled. Another step. Picture frame crashed from the wall. The children instantly stopped laughing. Silence filled the house. Even the storm outside seemed to disappear. The creature continued descending. Its face remained hidden inside the darkness. Yet Ava could feel it staring at her, watching her, studying her. The caller's voice shook. "That's why I called." "What is it?" Ava screamed. "I don't know." For the first time he sounded genuinely terrified. The thing reached the middle of the staircase. A foul smell filled the air, like wet soil and something rotting underground. The officer aimed his flashlight directly at the creature. For a split second the light touched its face. Ava wished it hadn't. Its skin looked stretched tightly across something that wasn't human. Its mouth was far too wide. Rows of jagged teeth glistened in the darkness. Then the flashlight exploded. The bulb shattered. Darkness returned. Heavy footsteps approached. Closer, closer, closer. Ava could hear its breathing now. Low. Hungry. Then suddenly, the front door burst open. A violent gust of wind rushed through the house. The windows rattled. The music box stopped. The lights flickered back on. Everything vanished. Emily. The children. The shadow. Only silence remained. The storm outside returned. The officer lowered his broken flashlight. What just happened? Nobody answered. The caller laughed nervously. "I was hoping you'd tell me." Ava stared at her phone. "Who are you really?" The man sighed. "I used to live there." "What?" "I moved out 3 days ago." Ava frowned. "Because of the ghosts?" "No." "Then why?" For several seconds, the caller remained silent. When he finally spoke, his voice was barely above a whisper. "Because every night at exactly midnight, the ghosts disappear." Ava slowly looked toward the attic. The man's breathing became shaky. And then something much worse comes out. The call disconnected. The screen went black. The officer and Ava stood frozen. Neither moved. Neither spoke. Then they heard it. Creak. A slow wooden groan echoed from above. Ava looked up. The attic door was opening again. But this time, something was already standing behind it. 2 pale eyes appeared in the darkness, watching, waiting. Then the lights went out, and they never came back on.